Shabbat Shalom, my friends, and welcome back to our weekly reading of the Bible. And as always, we can start this. I read from the scriptures, and this is from the Institute for Scriptural Research. And hopefully, you are opening your Bible, whatever version that may be. Hopefully, it's like not the Message, because that's a horrible translation. It just really is. But if you're using the King Jimmy or the ESV, the NIV, whatever. As long as you're following along. That's just because I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to dive into the book and you see what is actually written. Because as it was once said by someone else, I am a man and I will fail. And I fail myself all the time. I am prone to make mistakes. Though some of you think that we're not prone to mistakes, but that usually shows up in the comment section of the shorts, so you know who you are. And those of you that find it necessary to put thumbs down, thank you. It's movement, and it does help the algorithms here. So I find it strange that you put a thumbs down to just someone reading the Bible. If it bothers you, why are you here? But with that, we're not here to complain about that stuff. We're here to read the Word. And we're going to continue with Bereshith 28 and 29 today. But last week we left off with 27, and Rebekah said to Isaac, I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth and Jacob, and if... Let's redo that. I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like these who are the daughters of the land, what is my life to me? So she's definitely not wanting Jacob. She's definitely not wanting Jacob. Doesn't want Jacob to take wives from doesn't want him basically taking wives from Canaan. We'll get into that later. 28. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and commanded him and said to him, do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Paddan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take a wife for yourself from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. We're going to find out a lot about Laban. So basically, the Laban, the wife peddler. And El Shaddai bless you and make you fruitful and increase you, and you shall become an assembly to peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham to you and your seed with you, so that you inherit the land of your sojourners, which Elohim gave to Abraham. So Isaac sent Jacob away. He went to Paddan Aram, to Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. And Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Paddan Aram to take himself a wife from there, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a command saying, do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother and had gone to Paddan Aram. We just gotta have fun with it. I mean, that's just Paddan Aram. It's almost, I think it'd be like a 1980s song. Paddan Aram. Okay, I know. I'm sorry. So Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Isaac. That was wonderful. And I just lost my place. Sorry. I sniffed, and yeah, that's what happened. Sorry. I got a head cold or something going on. I don't know. So yes, we got the stuff. We got the things going on. 28:70, Jacob obeyed his father and his mother and gone to Padam Aram. So Esau, back to 28:8. So Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Isaac, and Esau went to Ishmael. Isaac went to Ishmael. Sorry, it's a rough day, bear with me. Esau went to Ishmael, Isaac's brother. Yeah, essentially his half-brother. So Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahanalah, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebulah. Yes, I'm slaughtering the Hebrew again. I'm sorry. Took the sister of Nebulah to be his wife, besides the wives he already had. So Esau's already got wives. I mean, Rebekah had issues with the other two wives that he had. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went to Haran. And he came upon a place and stopped over for the night. And the sun had set, and he took one of the stones of that place and took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head, and he laid down in that place to sleep. This is going to be interesting. So he picked up a stone, and he's laying it down as a pillow. He's using a stone as a pillow. I don't know if any of you have been camping or been out there and, took a stone and used that for a pillow. Not the most comfortable in the world, and I'm going to just, okay, that's it. More coffee. I need to wake up, guys. And there's that nice cool wind. Oh, yes, it is a nice breezy 50-something degrees today. So we like that. It's just brisk. Oh, so wonderful. The creation of Yah. So, as we continue, 28:11, and he came upon a place and he stopped over for the night. For the sun had set, and he took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head, and he laid down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed and saw a ladder set up on the earth, and its top reached to the heavens, and saw messengers of Elohim going up and down, lowercase. These are messengers. Hebrew translation, angels. And see, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh, Elohim of Abraham, your father, and the Elohim of Isaac. The land on which you are laying, I give it to you and your seed. And your seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and you shall break forth from the west and to the east, to the north and the south. And all the clans of the earth shall be blessed in you and in your seed. And see, I am with you, and shall guard you wherever you go, and shall bring you back to this land. For I am not going to leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. That's pretty darn powerful. His seed will spread. So Jacob's seed, Jacob's seed, will spread to all the nations. East, west, north, and south, all over. This is biblical prophecy at this point that the Gentiles will be eventually grafted into the seed of Jacob. And we'll eventually find out a little bit more deeper. I can't wait till we get to Genesis 32. Yeah. But we do know that Christian believers in Christ and Yeshua are grafted into that tree of life. We become, as a branch is grafted in, we become a part of that tree. It's not separate. And a lot of people, especially some of these movements, it's like the replacement theology. That's just not biblical. Okay? That's just not. You need to stop with it. And there's just so many no, not biblical. We are a part of the tree of life. We have been grafted in. It's time that a lot of us need to remember that. And I'm seeing more and more people are coming back to the word. They're going back to following the Torah and also having that testimony to Yeshua HaMashiach. And that's where I come from. I'm a whole Bible follower. I'm not a denomination. Denominations, Yeshua railed against that. I have a small fellowship of individuals. We get together and we have midrash. We have a gathering. We read. I don't preach. Just a brother. I'm your brother. You're my brother. You're my sister. I'm your brother. I'm not a pastor. We'll leave it at that. But we share this word together and we go through chapter by chapter, verse by verse, and we break it down. What does this mean? So with that, sorry, let's get back to the word. And what I have spoken to you, 28:16. And Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, truly Yahweh is in this place, and I did not know it. And he was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of Elohim, and this is the gate of the heavens. And Jacob rose early in the morning and took the stone that he had put at his head, set it up as a standing column, and poured oil on top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. However, the name of that city has been Luz previously. And Jacob made a vow, saying, seeing Elohim is with me, and has kept me in this way that I am going, and has given me bread to eat and a garment to put on, when I have returned to my father's house in peace, and Yahweh has been my Elohim, then this stone which I have set as a standing column shall be Elohim's house. And all of that you give me, I shall certainly give a 10th to you. And we know that 10th because if we go back to okay, there we go. We got the 10th coming to you. We can look at this as this is tithing. Tithing goes back all the way to the Old Testament. We have a lot of churches. The law was done away with. The law was nailed to the cross. We don't have to follow the law. It was nailed to the cross. Well, tithing is part of the law. You don't have to tithe anymore with that attitude. What? No. We need to tithe because we have to build the baseball camp for the missionaries, and we have to build an extra bookstore. Building a bookstore in a church. Essentially, you're building a bookstore in the temple. Didn't Yeshua flip tables and chase people out with a whip because they were selling inside of the temple? Oh, yeah. That's a bit of a stretch, but not really. Oof, that's hot. That's the way Kofifi should be. But me personally, I have issues when I go into some church and they have the bookstore and they're selling all the stuff and inside. I mean, essentially, we're told that the church is the new temple. That's God's house, right? And you're selling in God's house. Yeshua flipped over tables and chased the money changers out and intentionally braided a whip and chased the animals and people out in righteous anger. Mm-hmm. And back to 28:20, and Jacob made a vow, saying, seeing Elohim is with me and has kept me in this way that I am going, and has given me bread to eat and a garment to put on, when I have returned to my father's house in peace, and Yahweh has been my Elohim, then this stone which I have set as a standing column shall be Elohim's house. And of all that you gave me, I shall certainly give a 10th to you. And that you is capitalized. Continuing on with 29. And Jacob lifted up his feet and came to the land of the sons of the east. And he looked and saw a well in the field, and saw 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a large stone was on the well's mouth, and all the flocks would be gathered there. Then they would roll the stone from the well's mouth in the water and water the sheep, and put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. So Jacob said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" And they said, "We are from Haran." And he said to them, "Do you know Laban, son of Nahor? And they said, "We know him." So he said to them, "Is he well?" And they said, "Well, and see he is that." And they said, "Well, and see, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep." And he said, "See, it is still high day, not the time for livestock to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go and feed them." But they said, "We are not allowed until all the flocks are gathered together, and they have rolled the stone from the well's mouth. Then we shall water the sheep." While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, and she was a shepherdess. Not a shepherdess, a shepherdess. Learn to read. And it came to be, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. They're really foot stomping the fact that Laban is his mother's brother. Not just saying it's his uncle. It's his uncle, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. We don't do that anymore. We don't just see a beautiful woman go, "Yep," and walk up to her and kiss her and weep and say, "Yep, you're my wife." Times have changed. I think that gets you thrown in jail or slapped down. I'm joking. Sorry. Just read the word. And when Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's relative and that he was Rebekah's son, she ran and told her father. And it came to be, when Laban heard the report about Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet them and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And then he told Laban all these matters. Okay, I gotta shift. My back is hurting. Many of you know I do have back pain. Ow. Oh, I've been sitting a little too long. I'm gonna start doing this from reading. Get a little, okay. And we continue. And I'm pretty sure that it wasn't a passionate kiss that he gave his uncle. That's how they greeted. And Laban said to him, "You are indeed my bone and my flesh." And he stayed with him for a new moon, a little bit of time. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for naught? Let me know, what should your wages be?" And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. And Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was beautiful in form and beautiful in appearance. Once again, we're stomping that. Yeah, she was very beautiful face, and her eyes were weak. There's a possibility maybe Leah was cross-eyed. Her eyes were weak. She had a droopy eye. We don't know. Maybe she just couldn't see well. She really needed glasses, and they didn't have glasses back then. But they're pointing out that she got defects. She's not. No, sorry. I know some of you are gonna lose it on. Excuse me. Some of you gonna probably lose it on that one. Sorry. More kofifi. And Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was beautiful in form. She had a great figure and beautiful in appearance. Once again, she was a hottie. She was probably smoking. And Jacob loved Rachel. That's pretty intense. I mean, he just saw her and he actually loves her. Yeah. Some of us can honestly admit to things like that. They're like, "Yep, I knew soon as I saw her, yep, Yahweh said, you are done looking. This is your wife." I know about maybe 3 people that are like that. Me being one of them. When I saw my wife, I knew the search was over. That's why we've been married for 37 years. And Jacob loved Rachel. So he said, "Let me serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter." Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Stay with me." So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of their love he had for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are completed, and let me go into her." So he was laboring, and he was so in love with her that those 7 years just flashed by. And Laban gathered all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to be in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to Jacob, and he went into her. Okay. Possible speculation. Even though Leah was the elder, they were twins. They were possibly, she was the weaker twin. They looked alike. Maybe not identical, but they looked alike. Okay, there's that possibility. Also, they feasted. Jacob was drunk. He wasn't, he's like, "Yeah, there's Rachel." Laban did a girlfriend switch on Jacob. He's like, "Yeah, here's the woman you're marrying." We have to remember that day and age, the elder sister had to be married off. That carried for many centuries too. The elder sister had to be married before the younger. Oh, deceived. The deceiver has been deceived. Oh, what goes? Yep. And Laban gathered all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to be in that evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to Jacob, and he went into her. Hashtag go team. They did the bow chick wow wow. And Laban gave his female servant Zepheth to his daughter Leah as a female servant. And in the morning it came to be that, see, it was Leah. So he said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I have served you? Why then have you deceived me?" And Laban said, "It is not done this way in our place, to give the younger before the firstborn." Possibly twins. "Complete the work for this one, then I will give you this one too for the service which you shall serve with me still another 7 years. So he's like, "Man, Jacob's busting buns. He's a good worker. How can I get him to work for me for free, essentially?" Probably got food, room and board for 14 years. And Jacob did so and completed her week. And then he gave him his daughter Rachel his daughter Rachel too as wife. Okay, I'm sorry. Some of the writing in this is so yeah, it's not. Wait till we get to Paul, the king of run-on sentences. And Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as a female servant. And he also went to Rachel and said, also, "Love Rachel more." And he also went into Rachel, and he also loved Rachel more than Leah, and he served with Laban still another 7 years. 21 years he's laboring. And Yahweh saw that Leah was unloved, and he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben. Firstborn, Reuben. For she said, for Yahweh has looked on my affliction, because now my husband is going to love me. Yeah, so she's given him a son, the firstborn. She thinks that's going to give him love. Jacob's not into Leah. He's not. That was the deceiver got deceived, and now he's paying. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, because Yahweh has heard that I am unloved, he gave me this son too. And she called this son Simeon. Sorry, the Hebrew caught me. So Reuben, firstborn, then we have Simeon. So Simeon and Levi are my two favorite sons. It should be Judah. Now, Simeon and Levi are my two favorite sons. I like them, and we'll find out much. I'll share the story when we get there of why I like them some more. These guys, Simeon and Levi, don't mess around. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, now this time my husband is joined to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. So his name was called Levi. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, now I praise Yahweh. So she called his name Judah. Fourthborn, Judah. In the line, elder brother Judah. Fourthborn. And she ceased bearing. So after 4, she stopped bearing. And that brings us to the end of 29. Next week, we will continue with 30. We'll see if we just do 30. We may do a couple more chapters next week. I try to keep them a little bit, not too crazy. But we're starting to see the sons of Jacob, the sons of Jacob, being born. And we have Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. So we'll just throw this out. We'll just throw this question out. Here, a lot of times, a lot of people, Yeshua was a Jew. Well, Yeshua was of the tribe of Judah through the bloodline of King David. King David was through Judah. Then I've heard people, Moses was a Jew. Aaron was a Jew. We'll find out later on, Moses and Aaron were not of the tribe of Judah. They were the tribe of Levi. Levi is not Judah. So, was Abraham a Jew? Was Isaac a Jew? Was Jacob a Jew? No, they were not. We need to remember they were not. They were Hebrews, nomads. They were Hebrews. How can someone be of the tribe of Judah, where we derive Jewishness, the term Jew was from the tribe of Judah. 1 of 12. Abraham is the father of Ishmael and Isaac. From Ishmael, we get the Ishmaelites. And then that branch goes on to have 12 princes. They do not get the inheritance, as we have seen in this word. Isaac, the second born, the son that Yahweh said, hey, kill me a son. Abraham took his son Isaac, made him carry the wood, and right before he sacrificed him, hold your hand. So Abraham's 2 children, Ishmael and Isaac. Ishmaelites, and then we really don't have a name for Isaac's line. That's the line. Don't want to go there yet. But now you're seeing how things are being formed. Esau, Jacob's firstborn, who just dropped the ball. He just couldn't get his act together. He was not going to ever reign as a king. He wanted to play. He wanted to be the hunter. He was the wild child. And we see that through, his days hunting, where, he ends up killing Nimrod, stealing the priestly robes from Adam from Nimrod, and then being pursued and hunted down. And it's like, these people, Nimrod's armies are going to kill me. Here, I'll sell my birthright. Well, at the time, they're making lentil stew. Lentils are circular, the circles of life. A lot of people say that was kind of a stew of mourning. They were getting ready for a funeral. I possibly made a mistake saying they were getting ready for the death of Isaac. Might have been Abraham, but there was possibly a funeral. And some of you may say, well, that's not in the Bible. It's in the non-canonicals. In the book of Jasher, you will find the story. The Bible is the bones, where you get the Apocrypha, the non-canonicals. They are the meat. That's where you get some of the stories, and you find out deeper story, deeper meaning behind what's going on. And at one time, a lot of these non-canonicals were actually in the Bible. They were removed, and like after 312 with the Council of Nicaea, Constantine, and they started plucking books out. There's even some people now that they're saying there needs to be another convention or whatever, gathering to remove more books from the Bible. Say, wait, why are you removing books? Do not add or take away of this word. We'll find that out later. But with that, we're going to bring it to the end. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you read along. I hope you're going into your Bibles during the week and you're not just waiting. You should be reading this word every single day. I read this book every day. Every day I read an hour of my word, and then on Shabbat, the Sabbath, I read 2 to 3 hours, and it has immensely changed my life. But with that, I will leave you with the Shema. Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Ahad. And with that, shalom and blessings. May your week be wonderful. And thank you again.